In the ancient Roman period, sculptures were an important part of art and culture. Sculptures expressed much more than aesthetics in Roman society. They carried political, religious, and social messages. If we examine portrait sculptures, realism. Roman portrait sculptures were adept at depicting individuals in a realistic manner, with their facial features, signs of aging, and emotional expressions rendered in detail. Emperors and statesmen. Statues of emperors, senators, and important statesmen were frequently found in both public buildings and private properties, symbolizing power and authority. Equestrian statues. The equestrian statue of Marcus Aurelius is an important example of such statues in Rome. If we examine the monumental sculptures, triumphal arches, and columns, Rome built large sculptural structures, such as triumphal archways and monumental columns, which were used to celebrate victories and important events. Large-scale sculptures. Colossal sculptures were used to emphasize the power and grandeur of Rome, such as the Colossus of Nero. Religious sculptures, gods and goddesses. Roman statues depicted gods and goddesses taken from Greek mythology. Gods such as Jupiter, Minerva, Apollo were frequently seen in temples and public spaces. Cult statues. Cult statues found in temples and used for worship were an important part of religious rituals. If we examine the relief sculptures, tomb stelae, and sarcophagi had reliefs depicting the life and achievements of the deceased. Altar reliefs. Reliefs depicting sacrifices and religious rituals adorned temples and altars. Styles and techniques, realism and naturalism. Unlike Greek idealism, Roman sculpture focused on more realistic and naturalistic depictions. Especially in portrait sculptures, traces of old age and individual features were rendered in detail. Contrapposto pose. This technique, which was used to ensure natural posture in sculptures, made the figures look more dynamic, with one leg carrying the weight and the other standing comfortably. Polychromy. Painting of sculptures was common. Many ancient sculptures were actually painted in vibrant colors, even though today they appear as bare marble. There are many important and remarkable examples of sculpture from the ancient Roman period. These sculptures reflect the artistic richness and technical mastery of the Roman Empire. Here are some important examples of sculpture from the ancient Roman period. Augustus of Prima Porta. Description: depicting Emperor Augustus in armor. This statue is an idealized portrait of a young Augustus. Features: the reliefs on the armor symbolize Augustus's military victories and divine protection. The posture of the statue is a contrapposto, influenced by classical Greek art. Location: Vatican Museums, Rome. Equestrian statue of Marcus Aurelius. Description: a bronze statue of the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius on horseback. Features: the statue is one of the best preserved examples of Roman equestrian sculpture. The facial expression and details of Marcus Aurelius are realistically and impressively rendered. Location: the original is in the Capitoline Museum. The replica is on display in Campidoglio Square. Laocoon and Sons. Description: a dramatic group of sculptures depicting Laocoon and his sons being attacked by sea serpents. Characteristics: the sculpture has a high degree of dramatic expression and movement. The details and musculature are extremely realistic. Location: Vatican Museums, Rome. Trajan's Column. Description: a large, triumphal column covered with reliefs depicting the Roman Emperor Trajan's battles of Dacia. Features: there are 155 scenes and more than 2,500 figures on the column. Trajan's Column displays the power of detail and expression of Roman sculpture. Location: Trajan's Forum, Rome. Arapacis, Altar of Peace. Description: an altar built by the Roman Emperor Augustus in honor of the period of peace. Features: the altar is decorated with elaborate reliefs depicting the imperial family and religious rituals. The sculptures symbolize the peace and prosperity under Augustus's reign. Location: Arapacis Museum, Rome. Statues at Pompeii and Herculaneum. Description: statues from the cities of Pompeii and Herculaneum, destroyed by the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. Characteristics: the sculptures found in these cities depict daily life and religious rituals. For example, statuettes of gods and goddesses found in houses show the diversity of Roman sculpture. Location: National Archaeological Museum of Naples, Naples. Antinous sculptures. Description: sculptures depicting Antinous, the lover of Emperor Hadrian. Characteristics: the statues of Antinous are an idealized representation of youth and beauty. The influence of Hellenistic art is evident in these sculptures. Location: in various museums around the world, e.g. Louvre Museum, Paris, Vatican Museums, Rome. Apoxiomenos, Atleta di Lucino. Description: bronze statue depicting an athlete removing body fat. Characteristics: the sculpture shows the athlete's musculature and movements in a realistic manner. This Hellenistic-influenced sculpture shows the bronze workmanship of the Roman period. Location: Vatican Museums, Rome. These examples reflect the technical mastery of sculpture, the richness of artistic expression, and the cultural diversity of the Roman Empire. The sculptures are valuable as mirrors of the religious, political, and social life of Roman society.